How's she going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. We're battling here the COVID-19. So far we're ahead of the game, but I hope everybody else is doing well with this COVID-19 virus. I'm telling you, it's eating our lunch big time. But together, if we do what we're told and do what we're asked, then we'll all get through it. I'm sure we will. But in the meantime, we still have a few little projects that we're doing here in the workshop. Nothing outlandish, nothing extravagant, but you know, just little puttering jobs more or less, more than anything. But anyway, that's what this video is all about. Stripping down a little small engine, 3.5 horsepower lawnmower motor, stripping it all down, cleaning it, seeing what's bad, seeing what's good, seeing how it works, seeing how it goes together, see why it's made the way it is. I think it'd be interesting to look at all that stuff. So let's have a go and see what we can see. So I got the motor all stripped apart. And here's a box of parts. You probably recognize this. This is the block, the engine block, cylinder, valves. I've got the valves out of it already. And that's a box of all the parts. There's the head right there, muffler, carburetor's in there somewhere too. The block splits apart, so I have the valves out of it, and that's the inside of the block. Doesn't look really strange. I dig all those parts up, but we'll see them later. Okay, so I got the motor stripped apart. Well, there's a few other little pieces and parts that have to come off. A few oil seals that I want to pull out. Just like I say, I want to strip it completely to its bare bones. Even count how many parts go in a motor might be an interesting thing too. But anyways, you saw the various pieces and parts I have over there of the motor. Well, now the next step in this process was cleaning them up. So as I was cleaning, of course, with all the many years of grime that was built and burnt into the motor, it's hard going with the cleaning. And I was trying to clean it with a little tray, you know, with a little toothbrush, and well, it wasn't working out too good. So as with most projects, leads into another project. So the other project it leads into is I decided I should see if I can make myself a parts washer. So I'm out here in the shop, walking around thinking, what can I do to build a parts washer? What can I do? What would make a good parts washer? A bucket? Yeah, a bucket would work good. Kind of hard on the back, bending over, reaching into a bucket and all. So I didn't know what I was going to use for my parts washer. So I said, hey, what does everybody do when they don't know how to do something? I went on YouTube to try to find out what I could possibly use for parts washer. So I saw lots of really neat ideas for parts washers. I come up with this idea. A long time ago, I built what I'm going to call a barbecue accessory box that I had on my deck. So I just want to show you that box. Just one sec. Okay, so there's the barbecue accessory box, I'm going to call it, for lack of a better term. What it is, you can see right quick, it's the bottom of an old barbecue I had. These are the doors for the old case. It didn't have sides on it. So around here on the side, I just used some paneling that I had left over and put sides in it. Used the handle off the old barbecue lid, put that on there. Now this is in pretty bad shape. I had it all nicely varathaned and varnished when I first built it. This is the top that I had, and I had it all nicely varnished and everything. But it's been out in the weather now for about 4 years, and you can see the weather took its toll. So when I was looking around for something to make a parts washer out of, I saw this and I thought, now that's just about the right height to make a nice little table, and I could put my parts washer on that. And since it's kind of toast anyways, I thought, why not use it? So then when I opened it up, of course this top lifts up, and you know me, sitting here at the lake, I thought, geez, what a great idea. I'm going to put a cooler in this little barbecue accessory table that I was building, because then I could keep ice in here. Excuse all the dirt and whatnot that's on it, and the scuzzy that's around it. And then inside the cooler, hey, I could put ice and I could have cold beer. Wouldn't that be neat? And then, of course, here the door's open, and then down underneath, store your barbecue utensils and the cover and whatnot. But like I say, when I was looking around for parts washers ideas, I thought, just a second now, this old cooler that's been in here, she's it's done for. Like, I wouldn't want to put food in it ever again. Maybe a cold drink, but in a bottle, but not food. So I thought, just a second now, I can use that cooler. And wouldn't that be neat? You know, you can fill it up with solvent or whatever you want to use for cleaning. Put it in there, and it's got the little drain in the corner, so you could drain the solvent out. The drain is also up off the bottom a little bit, so any solids would stay in here, so you could drain the solvent back out, and then clean out the solvents, and it would be good to go. So I thought, that's what I'm going to use, and this is not a bad height. I mean, when you look at it here, like, it comes up, it's a good height for working on, right? So I thought, geez, that's just what the doctor ordered for a nice parts washer. And it's got the wheels on it, like I say, so I can wheel it around the shop here or stick it back outside, because nothing worse can happen to it than what's already happened. So I thought this is going to be good. So then I started thinking a little bit more. You have to close that cover, then you'd have to close this lid. 9 times out of 10, there would be stuff on top of it, and if you ever had to wash parts, you know, it would be a nightmare to get at it. So I thought, well, that's a good idea. I'll just remember that, but see if I can come up with something better. So, guess what? Well, as it turns out, the barbecue that's on the deck died. It died last summer, and we never barbecued all winter because it was in such bad shape. So I bought a new barbecue, put that together the other day, set it up on the deck. So I have another barbecue carcass. The wheels started turning. This is what I'm thinking about. Alright, so there's the old barbecue itself sitting on the deck there. I already robbed some pieces and parts off it. And over here is the base of that old barbecue stand, right? Barbecue used to sit right in the top here. Rather than use this old albatross of a thing I have here, why don't I just use this, put a new top on it, and we'll put the cooler on top of it and just use that. That way I won't have that horizontal surface just begging to have stuff piled on it. So what I'm thinking is this. Just a piece of aspenite. I'm going to cut it to fit in here better so that it would actually set down maybe that way. I'm not sure yet. But that aspenite, and then put my cooler on top of this. So I put the cooler on this new tabletop that's going to be on this stand. So now, at that height, you know, it's not really that high. In fact, it's kind of at a nice angle, because I can stand pretty straight while I'm washing the parts. So I like that. Because I don't like bend over like this, because when you're bent over like this, especially for old fellas with, you know, mature midsections, it doesn't take long for your back to say, just a second, time for a break. So anyways, standing straight works good. Now the other thing, when I'm washing parts, rather than have sit right on the bottom of the cooler, where all the sludge and guck will come from what you're washing off, you don't want your clean part sitting in that. So when I stripped apart my old barbecue, it had grates in it, of course. So I saved the grates. There they are. They're great. That's what I find about barbecue grates. They're great. Anyways, I mean, this needs a lot of cleaning up, don't get me wrong, but that grate just about fits perfect in the bottom here. So this sits in there pretty good, so look, that can go right tight against these two corners. So it leaves a little space up here if you want to put something down underneath there. So what I'm thinking of doing is building a stand and maybe mounting that halfway up, right? So then there would be cleaning agent inside here that I could put the parts on the grate as it's up off the bottom of the cooler, about, you know, 4 inches. Wash all those parts down. That would drip down below and run out the drain. So I'm going to use one of those grates as it's just a little screen to hold things up. Pretty clever idea too, I think. So the ideas keep coming and coming, for my parts washer. So I'm going to put that grate there, about 4 or 5 inches off the bottom, make a couple of stands for that. That won't be a big deal. As far as washing medium goes, what I'll use for cleaning agent, this may not be the best choice, but I'm thinking spray 9. It's got a good degreaser in it, and it leaves a bit of a film, I find, behind when you're washing stuff, but most times it'll work alright. And this is concentrated, so I've got about a half a gallon here, so I should be able to make up probably 2 gallons out of it. If not, just go buy some more. It seems like it's always on sale somewhere. So I'm going to mix that up and use that in here. Now what I could do is just mix up the cleaning agent, fill the tub, and just go with that, right? With the grate up off the bottom. I could wash my parts, any big parts, I could set them in under the grate, let them soak in the cleaning agent. And I may do that. But another idea I had was this. I have a 5-gallon bucket here. I was thinking I would mix up this cleaning agent, fill a bucket with that, because I can put a cover on this bucket. And then in the cover of the bucket, remember my little pump from filling up my tractor tires? I could put this pump in the bucket. I put the bucket on the ground. In fact, I put it on the floor, in fact, maybe under this end, the far end of it, because I can open the drain and I could put a hose from that drain back down into the bucket. So then I could have the bucket on the floor with my pump in the bucket, turn the pump on and use the hose then to come up so I could wash my parts. And then as the fluid fills up in the cooler and it gets about 1 inch off the bottom of the cooler, we'll start running out the drain, go through the hose back down in the bucket so I could recirculate my cleaning agent that way, my solvent or whatever, and all the sludge would stay back in the cooler. And when I'm finished cleaning my parts, I just lift the grate out and then clean out all the sludge at the bottom of the cooler. The other good thing about all this, when I'm finished, I just close the lid on the cooler, and because it's mounted on this old barbecue cart that has wheels on it, then I can just wheel this either in the corner of the shop or put it outside or something, right? So anyways, that's going to be my parts washer to wash the parts that I'm stripping off my engine, or for any parts that you want to wash. It's always good to have a parts washer around. But starting to do an engine rebuild led me to this project of building a parts washer. Alright, so we got all the parts and pieces dug up from around the camp that were just, you know, destined for the garbage heap anyhow. But we're going to try to repurpose them and turn them into a parts washer. And if I get a good parts washer out of it, yippee! If I don't get a good parts washer out of it, well, you know, I was going to throw them all out anyhow, so what's to lose? You know, I was checking online, and you can buy parts washers for, I don't know, $100. Let's just say $100 for the sake of argument. So I could spend $100 to get a part washer, but $100, that's a lot of money, right? So I'm thinking I'm going to try and build one. You know, it's not going to cost me anything to build it. It's going to be good fun. And in the meantime, stay safe. Stay away from that coronavirus. It's no good for anybody. And wash your hands. We'll talk to you.